Hey there, I'm Lee. I'm applying for the production position that you have available. I'll tell you a little bit about myself real quick. I've got a background in radio production. I'm a former production director from the Lansing and Muskegon markets. That was many, many years ago. Since then, I've been messing around with satellites and pointing antennas into outer space, stuff like that. I have kept my feet wet doing production though, and I'm looking to get back into it. So let me show you some of the video stuff I've been working on, some animated clips, and then we'll get into some audio, and then I'll demonstrate some of my old radio stuff for you as well. We'll see if maybe that's along the lines of what you're looking for. These are all clips from an upcoming YouTube video I've been working on in my spare time. It's a marketing video. The plot takes place in several cities across the country. The pieces I'm about to show you are not quite complete yet, but I want to show them to you anyway because I think it'll give you a real good idea of what kind of creativity you can expect out of me. Alright, let's start with this one here. This is an opener for a segment about Michigan technology and innovation and the role that it plays in the world that we live in today. It'll feature things like the combine harvester.
This innovative horse-drawn machine gave birth to modern harvesters, increasing crop production and reducing labor costs, allowing food and clothing suppliers to meet the demands of consumers worldwide.
On my international harvester,
The automatic toaster.
yeah, toast!
And this particular segment focuses on the Lazy Boy recliner and how the very first one was created out of orange crates. Very cool story. I started with a picture. This is a photo of a 3-story wall inside the Michigan Library in Lansing. And then I found this clip of some binary digits, tweaked it, got the colors I wanted, and then I created this topography effect to make it look like the state is coming out of the water, and then from there we do a whitewash into the next segment. So there's that. This one is a quick little time-lapse video. It was shot during the daylight, so the darkening sky and then the stars coming in, that was all added in, and then we'll do a whitewash into the next shot. The next few clips I'll have some animation, and I really like the way that they turned out. When I create an animated sequence, I'll start with live video, I'll act out the part, shoot it, and then I use that as a template to animate. I'll sample in my effects, in this case the wave file for the audio track, I use that as a graphic. And then I'll create a spreadsheet, create all my values, figure out where everything belongs in each particular frame. Then I go ahead and put it all together and come up with something like this. DJ.
Hey, DJ!
This clip has a very quick little animated effect, and it's super quick. I'm going to spend more time describing the clip to you than I am showing you the effect. The gist of the scene is this: I'm looking to upgrade some video equipment, and so I'm doing some research on cameras and trying to figure out which one's going to be the right one for what I'm trying to do. While I'm contemplating which camera to get, I take a trip to Phoenix for a few days to visit some friends and go see the Grand Canyon.
I like cold anyway.
Everybody's ready to go. It's going to be a fun-filled day. We're all excited to go see the canyon. Well, almost everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, she'll take her time, 'cause I don't mind waiting on a woman.
Kind of a cute little effect. I think it'll at least generate a smile, if not a chuckle, out of the viewer. And so that's kind of the intended purpose there. The significance of this scene in the storyline is that the featured product in this video is an iPad accessory. At this time, I didn't have the iPad yet, but on the trip, I see some of the pictures that my friend has taken with her iPod, and Tammy's a phenomenal photographer and artist anyway, very, very talented lady. But I see some of the pictures that she's taken with her iPod, and I'm just amazed at the clarity and quality coming out of this little tiny device, and that inspired me to make my decision on which camera to get, which in this case was an iPad, that led to the development of the featured product. The canyon itself is hands down one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Amazing sunsets. I do recommend you pull the car over to view one though. Could prevent you from hitting a curb, popping a tire, or two. I didn't know curbs could pop tires, but it turns out they're quite good at it. This is the other clip that I want to show you that features animation. It's an opening transition. The scene takes place at the local bar where I sometimes use the featured product in the DJ booth. It's kind of a busy little clip, so I want to slow it down real quick and just kind of point out some of the things that are happening simultaneously. Earlier I mentioned something about a combine harvester. The plan is to come out of that farming footage, and that's why I'm using the tractor as an opening clip there. But let's start with that. We've got the tractor that drives off the road sign. The wheel enlarges. As it enlarges, it becomes a record, and the background is also faded to black. I then bring in my DJ hands and scratch the record. This causes two things to happen. Notice how the turntable retracts into the needle morphs into the moon, then the moon shoots across the sky. I'll back it up again. While that happened, the record has now transformed into the marquee and rotated into place, showing the viewer where we're at, outside the bar. And then we go inside for some of the footage in there. And then I'm not going to go too much into the footage right now because it's not quite ready yet. I'm going to do something different than what I've already shown you with it. Some sort of montage, different bar activities, a lot of emphasis on the dance floor. I'll get some close-ups of the equipment, and then people playing pool, stuff like that. And just kind of keep it an upbeat atmosphere, which will go along great with the audio track. I'm probably going to focus more so on the bar activities in the scene than I am the featured product for a couple reasons. The less is more factor being one of them. And the other is that I kind of just like to give them a plug in the process. So here's the transition again, full speed. And then now I want to show you the audio track for it. When I first started working with this, I was going to use one song and do something very, very basic. And the more I started getting into it, it just was clear one song is not going to do the trick. So I ended up putting together this little mix. It's about 40 seconds long, and then I took 8 different songs and put them in there and just kind of reached across the spectrum. I've got some oldies in there, I've got some hip-hop in there, I've got some country in there, so just kind of a really good mix, but every one of these songs is indicative of what you're going to hear there. So kind of a neat little mix here. After I developed a beat line for it, then I went through all my songs that I wanted to use and filtered out what's going to work, what's not going to work. I've been contemplating adding a couple pieces. I really wanted to add some Johnny Cash in there, but the more that I've listened to it, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, so I think I'm just going to leave that out and stick with what I've got here. So let me go ahead and play this for you, see what you think. I really like the way this one turned out. I think you will too. So that's the current stuff I've been working on, audio and video. I've got one more piece here for you, and it's audio only. These are some old radio promos from about 20 years ago. That's how old they are. I'm putting them in here as an example of just kind of where I've come from in production. They're in my iTunes library, so every once in a while they'll just kind of pop up on shuffle. It always makes me smile when they do for a couple reasons. One is that some of the things I did back then were a little redundant. I was a little heavy on the laser effects and all that, which, sounded fine at the time, but I hear that now and it's like, okay, I could have done that a little differently or a little better. And so I can definitely hear and see some personal growth as a producer. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, it always, just brings back a lot of good memories. That was a wonderful time in my life and always makes me smile. A couple things I want to point out here. A lot of these are music intensive. For the country station, I would take songs that said the word country or said the word radio,
Crank it up.
and then I would just wrap our liners around that. So I started doing that way back then.
Why do I listen to Kicks 94?
There's another promo with a bunch of listeners in it telling us what they like about the station. Hey, I like the DJs, I like the music, I like, blah, blah, blah. And that was kind of cool because as we were doing remotes, I would take a microphone and a recorder with me and I would ask our listeners, hey, what do you like about the station? And it really complimented the station's image as well. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, here it is, some really old radio stuff, and that's pretty much all I've got for you today.
The hit country music just keeps going
And going and going and going.
C-O-U-N-T-R-Y. Your old hit country radio station. Mid-Michigan's Country. Kicks 94. Mid-Michigan's Country. Kicks 94.
The DJs, of course.
Variety in the music.
You play a lot of songs and not so many commercials.
About the best one I heard.
Mid-Michigan's Country. Kicks 94. It's more hit country music. Turn it up. Come on, turn it up.
I got the radio blasting.
Crank it up. More hit country music. Mid-Michigan's Country. Kicks 94.
Why do I listen to Kicks 94?
I listen because
I'm a country fan.
Jordan and Alan, those two are great. Love listening in the morning.
I like the Sunday morning oldies show.
I love your Sunday morning program.
The guy on Sunday, you listen to him, he's a hoot, man. I love listening to it.
I like Alan in the morning.
Jordan and JJ.
I love Jordan and JJ, and I love country music.
Kicks 94.
Turn my radio on in the morning, it stays on until I go to bed.
All right. Well, that should give you some idea of what kind of stuff I do. If I can be of any assistance, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I look forward to speaking with you.